Hi everyone, this is Margaret Hirsch, your home with Hirsch's, and thank you for joining me on my show tonight for our talk on wellness. And I believe that your health is your wealth, and it is so important. It's no good having all the money in the bank and being sick as a dog. It doesn't work that way. You've got to make sure that you, first of all, are healthy, and then you make sure you're wealthy. We always think about money, money, money all the time, but it's no good to you unless you can spend it and enjoy it. So, welcome to my show today, and I'm so glad to have Kerry who's coming into us today from Fiji. Wowee! And that really is far away. I've been to Fiji. Oh my God, that trip seemed like never ending. I was flying around and around and around the world and never got there. But Kerry, thank you for coming in. And Kerry has been in the Netherlands recently. It's normally me jet setting, but not this month. It was Kerry jet setting. So she's been jet setting around the world and been to the Netherlands to the conference with Vishen Lankani. So tell us a bit before we start about the conference and about how it was.
Yeah, well, thank you, Margaret. And I'll tell you now, if anybody gets an opportunity to go to the Mind Valley Annual Conference, it used to be called A-Fest. Then they changed the name to Mind Valley University, and now it's called Mind Valley U, because it's actually all about you. The energy there was phenomenal, like phenomenal, incredibly like-minded people that are all thinking about health and wealth.
Yes.
And they all very conscious and aware. Beautiful sessions. Every day was a different theme. So I obviously spoke on the day where it was reinvent yourself, which was absolutely awesome. But we had a day just dedicated to social media. There was a day dedicated to AR. There was a day dedicated to obviously even more health. There was a wealth day. There was, so there was just every day was a different theme. But also the energy just continued into the evenings. And so the parties that Vishen puts on, by the way, are like legendary. It's not just a party, it's an experience. And most people are drinking water. They are absolutely drinking water at the party. So the energy is just so phenomenal. Loads of healthy people, loads of people that want a better lifestyle. So they're going there to create a better lifestyle. So he draws the speakers in from around the world, like really just amazing. The people that, you see on Instagram. I don't know if anybody has followed Gary, he calls himself the Human Garage. And he works with fascia, just removing fascia, releasing fascia within your skin and within your body.
I don't even know what fascia is. Tell us. I don't even know what that is.
It's like your connective tissue in between organs and in between your skin. And he feels that a lot of emotions get stuck in there. And so he releases the emotions by actually opening up your fascia and making sure that everything is stimulated. And he does online, sessions. Yeah. So on Instagram, he's called the Human Garage. Wow. And so he was there taking us through a live experience, which was amazing. Dr. Zach Bush was there. He's one of my favorites because he talks about obviously the poisoning and of the chemicals in our soils. Yes. And so we have to just be so aware and instead of, and he just said this right now, and then said, instead of talking about longevity, because everybody's on about how do we live longer, how do we live, he says, what about shifting it to birth? He says, because the new moms today need to be clean and healthy.
Yes.
They need to be clean and healthy because so much is actually contaminated. And so that was just really like an eye-opener, just thinking about things differently. But yes, I did my speech. So
how do you feel it went? I have no idea. I haven't watched it at all, but I want to. And have they published it yet, or have you published it yet? And secondly,
they haven't published it yet. It will be. People that signed on to the virtual did get to see it virtually. But only yesterday I got the professional photographers, the professional photos. So the videos will be coming out soon. They will be coming out soon. So as soon as I have it, I will let it go. Margaret, you and I just talk. So but I did have a PowerPoint prepared because it was an hour and I wanted to go through it, and it must be structured and I wanted it to be very powerful. So I did, I followed that, but afterwards you always think, oh, I could add in that. I could have added in that.
Yeah.
They put there's so much you can talk about. So, you've got to just do it within the time. But I had a phenomenal response. People were coming up to me afterwards. Every day people were recognizing me. It was really an amazing, amazing response. When I got back to New Zealand, my diary was full. Like everybody wanted to. So, to have the call, because I do offer a 30-minute. So anybody here as well, I do offer a 30-minute, just a free consultational chat. And so, yeah, my diary was absolutely full. I think for me, it was just phenomenal being in that space with those people. So just being chosen to speak, by the way, was just
that's an
amazing.
honor in
Yeah.
itself. And I see
Yeah.
Eric Edmeades was there as well. Did he also speak?
Oh, he spoke a few times because he's obviously got Wildford and he's got the Public Speaking Academy, which
Yeah.
he was running whilst we were there as well. So he spoke a few times. And yeah, so he's awesome and phenomenal. But it was so funny because just before I went on to do my speech, I'm standing at the back and he walks in and he's about to go on to do the public speaking one, and I'm about to go on and do public speaking. So I said to him, oh my gosh, I said, I'm on next. And he goes, you're on next. He says, I've got to come and see you. I'm saying, no, you make me nervous. But he stood at the back, and honestly, I wasn't nervous because I knew my content and I knew the message that I wanted to share with everybody. And it really was about deep cellular healing.
Yeah.
And it really was about how we can use frequency in food and frequency in the tools that we have available today. It's just amazing. And then I did talk about case studies as well, which was obviously so interesting. So all went well, all went amazingly well. And we had loads of education, loads of fun. But anybody wanting, I was only there for 1 week. It's a 2-week. It's happening in Estonia at the end of July next year.
Yeah.
And
I've been to Estonia, and it's worth a visit because it's like nowhere else in the world that you'll go. So it's incredibly fantastic, and I think it's really, really worthwhile. I don't know, don't think that a week or 2 weeks will be too much of the same thing? Can you absorb all that stuff?
Well, honestly, after a week, I was actually quite happy to leave. And only because there was so much information coming at you, it was like, okay, I need to actually now embody it. I need to now actually enhance it. But the 2 weeks is totally different content. So you do need the itinerary to go, okay, which week am I choosing? But people that have done it before, they stayed on 2 weeks because they said, you don't listen to everything. You don't go to everything. In the first week, like I wanted to go to everything, but when they say when you're there for 2 weeks, you take breaks, you go and see the city in between the day. Vision says this as well. You don't have to be there for everything. You pick and you choose what you want to focus on, and you show up for those things. And the other things is you see the city, you mix with people, you go for lunches, you go for dinners, you make deep connections with people. And so I do think that is half of it is actually really getting some really good deep connections going. Yeah.
So just give us one thing that you really took out of that, health-wise and holistic food-wise. What was the sort of main thing that you took out of all those lectures you went to?
The main thing really was, and the speech that Dr. Zach Bush did, it moved us to tears. We moved out of there almost in silence, because there's so much emotions moving through everybody. And I turned around, I went to go and get a cup of tea, and I turned around and there was this chap standing next to me, and I could just see he was welling up. And so I hugged him and he just started sobbing. And he just said, that was such a moving speech that he gave. And I just said the same thing. I said, wow. And also it moved you to want to take action.
Yes, I think that's the whole thing. You don't want to sit there for a week or two and then come back and carry on with the same old, same old.
Correct.
It's got to make you say, hey, this is a turning point in my life. This is what I'm going to change, and this is how I'm going to go forward. Because, I had that. And as you know, you met my friend Melanie there, and Melanie got me onto veganism, and I've never looked back. And I think that, you just get to that stage where you meet somebody you said, this is a turning point in my life. From now on, this is the route I'm going, and I'm never turning back. And that's how it has to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, the friend that I was with, she actually had to go for a walk outside. She said, I can't even be like, the energy was just too much.
Yeah,
And so she went for a long walk. You know, I sat and I felt everything move. And then
yeah,
your mind starts going, okay, so how can I help humanity? Like,
yeah,
what can I do to help humanity? And so that's where my mind was going. It's like, Margaret, these wellness webinars, I think, are just phenomenal because
yeah,
we're sharing information and educating. And for
yeah,
me, it's like everybody needs an education
yeah.
around
Because
natural health and
we're
food.
all taught to eat differently from when I
Yeah.
think somebody, I was with my old uncle this weekend, he's 88, and he's the last remaining living person who is of that generation, of my mother's generation. So I went to celebrate my mother's, what would have been her 100th birthday, but she passed 18 months ago. But we said it would have been her 100th birthday, and we were going to have a big party, so we'll have it anyway. And it was incredible to see. He said, we've got good genes because my mother died at 99. He's 88 and still going strong. So hopefully I will be too. But I think and I said to him, it's all in the food you eat. But when I think how we used to eat, he said to me, what did you eat? I said, it was us. We knew it was mince on Monday, chicken on Tuesday, chips on Wednesday, leftovers on Thursday, fish on Friday. I can't remember what Saturday, but Sunday was always a roast chicken for lunch. That was it, And we had our three vegetables. We had the potatoes, the pumpkin, and the beans or peas. That was it. We had no calamari, no sushi, nothing like that. I mean, to the day my mother died, she never had calamari or sushi. So, and you just think it's so different, and there's so many choices now.
There's
And
so many
in
choices.
the old days, you think going back, you used to just go to the dinner table, the dinner was put in front of you, and you ate what was on the plate. Now, you want to go to my daughter's house. She asks this one, what would you like for supper? What would you like for supper? What would you like for supper? And she cooks 5 different meals every night, which is absolutely crazy. But that's how people are today. They eat so differently. But, how do you choose? You used to what you used to. So, for instance, Indian people can eat a very hot curry at a young age, whereas you give our children that curry at 5 or 6, they would never be able to eat it. So it's what you taught to eat and how we've had to re-educate ourselves to say, I'm only going to eat what's good for me. What is this going to serve me? Is it going to make me feel better, or is it going to make me feel worse? And then you have the glass of wine that does make you feel worse, or the sweet, which is bad for you, but you have it anyway. So it's just to control your emotions, control your mind, and control your eating so that you do
And
that. How are you going
And
to?
this is a big thing. Yeah, this is a big thing that I'm seeing right now because I'm in a resort in Fiji and
Yes,
there's buffets and
yes,
there's sitting by the pool with cocktails.
yes,
And I
yeah,
am blown away at the choices and the choices that people are making because it's a buffet. And
yes.
so I don't know what clicks over in somebody's mind is going, well, there's free food, so I better eat.
Pile it
And
up.
yes, and I'm going, why don't you just feel into your body? So I'm with my best friend here, and her and I are sitting, and we every time we're having a meal, we feel into our bodies,
Yeah,
feel into our bodies, and when our body is satisfied, and we're
that's
eating slowly, we're not shoving the food down and going for the next plate and queuing up for the donut. There's donuts in the morning
yes.
and Cheerio cereal for the kids at nighttime. I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I am blown away. But it's just like whatever the kids want, they're giving them. They're
Yeah,
just giving them. So
yeah,
you can have your cereal for dinner if you want. And I'm going,
yeah.
oh, like I am floored at the moment. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of good choices. So there's a lot of fresh fruit. There's a
yeah,
lot of salads. There's a lot of good protein. So the choice is amazing. But
yeah,
like, what are people choosing?
yeah.
What are they choosing? Yeah.
And to choose the right things and to give yourself enough of everything. So people
Yeah.
always say to me, how do you have enough protein? And I think I read it's 0.8 of a gram of protein per kilo of your weight. That's all you really have to absorb every day,
Yeah.
which you can get out of basically everything. So a little bit of protein in it. So people always say that to me, and I say I've never had a problem with that type of thing. And I don't take supplements, and I absolutely hate taking pills. I can't stand taking pills. And I said, I don't want to be like all my friends who become like pill bottles. They
Yeah.
sit and they have these pills for breakfast, these pills for lunch, these pills for supper. To me, that's not living. You've got to, I want to get my nutrition from my food. I want to get well from food. So let's start talking about what where do you start when it comes to good food? I know we've got to eat fruit and vegetables, but where do you actually start changing from your old-fashioned diet of all these meats and all sorts of different things to a more holistic type of food?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the full understanding of what's happening inside our body.
Yes.
So when we actually feel into what the food is doing, and I truly, truly believe that some people, their communication and the messages from the gut to the brain has been numbed. It's
Yes.
been numbed with refined sugars and alcohols and toxins.
Yes.
And so we've actually got to make sure that we're getting that message. So if you get the message, you're not going to keep putting the wrong thing in. But if you don't get the message, you're going to not make the change. So you've got to actually sometimes go, I'm biting the bullet, I'm making the change, I'm making the shift, and I just got to do it.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it's as big as that. Instead of gradually like, okay, I'm gradually going to start, introducing more of the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I've noticed people go, if we make the shift and the change, it's dreadful for a week. You know, my body's dreadful
And then
for
you
a week.
get used to it, like when I gave up sugar in my tea. For the first week, it tasted terrible, and now you couldn't put sugar in my tea because I'm used to drinking it without. Yeah.
Yeah. And how was it for you changing from coffee to rooibos tea?
No, well, I never really liked coffee anyway. I used to drink coffee, but I never really liked it. But once you drink rooibos, I don't think you'll go back to anything else. People have offered me other stuff. The only time I drink anything else is my friend Sid, he's Indian, and he makes me chai tea, you know, the tea, proper tea, Indian tea with the cardamom and everything. That's the only other one I drink, and I can't wait to get back to Cape Town for him to make me some more. But otherwise, I drink rooibos. I bring it here, and I drink a lot. I mean, actually, I drink a lot. I probably drink 10 cups a day. And you can, because it's just flushing that all through your system. And it's one way of getting liquids in. Because for me to sit and drink a glass of water is almost impossible. I have sips of water during the day, but I know you drink a lot of water. I try and drink a lot, but I never get to that 3 liters. If I get 1.5 liters, I call myself good.
Yeah. We're getting at the moment, because we can't drink the tap water here, but the Fiji, it's called Fiji water, and it's in a liter bottle. And so I'm at least doing 3 of those a day. But I think when you're out in the sun as well, you need more. You know, you definitely also need to look at the climate that you're in, and you do need to adapt and more. So honestly, I feel like if you are going to think about your health, you dive in and you go, right, I'm making the shift, I'm making the change. I'm putting the living food into my living body. And when you start doing that consistently, the messages start coming back. And you start feeling, so this is what my energy feels like. This is what it feels like to get the toxins out of my body. This is what my actual gut feels like when it's not happy, if you do, experiment with something. So it really is taking that leap of faith and going, I am putting the good food in. You know, it's amazing. I thought about, when I was healing myself. So this was like, it's 28 years ago when I first did my healing. I was only eating raw food.
Yeah.
Only raw food. If it wasn't raw, I wasn't eating. And that was my biggest healing. My biggest healing happened when I was eating raw food. Yeah.
And then did you graduate back to cooked food? Because now you have meat, you have dairy, you have all those sort of things. Which
I don't do. Yeah, I don't do dairy. I don't do refined sugars, but I do protein. I do protein, but I don't do, it's like my diet at the moment is fruits, veggies, and protein. That's it. That's it. And it's plain and it's simple, and there's no, extravagant sauces and spices and, dressings and things like that. If I put a dressing on my salad, I squeeze orange or I squeeze lemon onto my salad. It just lifts it. It's just like, it's just a beautiful, or I'll cut out mango in mango season. I'll put mango into my salad. I'll mix some of my fruit with my veggies, if I'm not having protein. So I don't eat, fruit, veggies, and protein all together. I do separate it because protein does take a lot longer to be digested. But Margaret, my eating is clean, and I've managed to keep it clean in all my travels. In all my travels, I found the best place in Amsterdam to eat. It was called The Good Day Every Day. Like it
Oh,
was
wow.
the restaurant's a good day every day. And it was this beautiful restaurant that did beautiful, it actually everything was displayed. All the veggies were displayed, you know, all the salads were displayed, and you made up your own salad bowl and you made up your own, you know, eating the way that you wanted to. And outside the restaurant, there was this beautiful big tree. And
Yeah.
around the tree, they had planted a herb garden around the tree. And they had a big sign up there, please, neighbors, help yourself.
Oh, really? Wow, that's amazing.
That's how I want to support. I want to
Yeah.
support people that are helping the people. You
Mm.
know, helping the
Yeah.
people think about good food, helping the people reach good food, because
Yes.
I think there's a big myth out there that
Yeah.
healthy eating is too expensive.
Yeah. Oh no, God, mine's cheaper. I always tell people if they take their trolley, when they see my trolley, I have no meat, no chicken, no fish, no eggs, no yogurt, no cheese, no milk. I mean, my trolley costs me less than a normal person's trolley for sure. And I eat really good food. I shop often and I shop with fresh. And as you say, you shop around the edge of the shop, not in the middle, because all the tinned and puffy stuff is in the middle, and really all the fresh and real good stuff is around the edge. So that's a good one to go by. But let's talk about spices now, because I see we've got Shah here, Shada from Shah Spices, and I have a lot. I do like spices because vegan food can be pretty bland. So I cook a lot with spices, with cinnamon, with nutmeg, with cardamom, with sure, I have so many favorites, and Shada's going to be happy because I'm coming back and I'm going to buy another set of her spices for my house in Zanzibar and another set to bring back with me to America, and hope that the sniffer dogs don't get me at the airport bringing them in. But yeah, you know, turmeric. I mean, I love turmeric. I do make turmeric tea as well. So there's so many good spices and that can get out. And recently a friend of mine had an operation and they said to her, don't have ginger, don't have garlic, because that will thin your blood. And I thought, well, isn't that what everybody wants, is the thin blood to go through? So it just goes to show all those condiments that you use, you can use stuff to make your food tasty and it can be healthy at the same time.
I truly believe herbs and spices are your healing.
Yeah.
That's where you get your healing from.
Yeah.
That is truly where so those become, honestly, those become remedies. I mean,
Yeah.
how many plants have become plant remedies? And
Yes.
it's because of the power in
Mm.
those herbs and in those spices that actually do the healing. So
Yeah.
for me, I am such an advocate for herbs. I love my herbs.
Yeah.
The spices, what I've found is when you get the individual spices, they're absolutely amazing. But it's the combination that sometimes they add sugar in it. So
Yeah.
Shada, I hope none of your spices have
Oh,
sugar
yeah.
in it,
Hers are
because
good.
it's the ones that they find in the supermarkets. And I'm going, why would you make a blend and then add sugar to that spice? That
Yeah.
blend is so good on its own.
Yeah.
So please, you know, for anybody that's buying supermarket,
Yeah.
read those labels as well and make sure you buy individual. If you buy the individual, it's amazing, absolutely amazing for us.
And now so many people are suffering with their gut these days. Wherever you go, you say, oh gosh, I'm going to have one of those scopes, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have, they're suffering with their guts. But we feel into our gut. And now, how did we start that? I think we just started on our own and now we can feel into our gut. How's my gut feeling? It's feeling really good, or it's really not feeling good. And what am I going to do about it? And to me, it's always water, flushing it out with water will definitely flush it out and get rid of those
Yeah.
toxins. But
And
yeah, sorry. So tell somebody who has not started yet. They've been still eating meat and eating sweets and chocolate after supper and all that type of thing. Now they've decided they want to get a clean gut because they want to feel healthier. They want to feel better. That's what it's all about, feeling good. And they will feel so much better. I felt so much better after I became vegan. My hair was better. I know it's not advert now, but my hair felt better. My nails grew more. My skin was better. I wasn't as wrinkled. When I see my friends who are similar age and the wrinkles, and you know, it's unbelievable. And I do believe that what you put in your body manifests itself. It doesn't do it straight away though. It takes a while. I'm sort of seeing the results from what I ate 5 years ago manifesting themselves now.
yes, yes, I'm so glad you've said that. I'm so glad you said that, because that's the whole thing about starting from birth. You know, if we want a long life, we should actually start earlier. But that's exactly it. Our cells take a long time. Think about people with chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
They don't have a chronic illness overnight.
Yeah.
it takes at least a decade for them, for their bodies to go, oh my gosh, this after the, it's dead food, processed food, refined sugars, alcohol, toxins, constantly, that actually accumulates. And then when that all accumulates, then all of a sudden there's a chronic illness. So it doesn't start overnight, which means we can't expect results overnight.
Yeah.
So we've got to be a little bit patient, but oh my gosh, doesn't this body respond quickly? It really does respond quickly. It's like when you make a change, within a month, you will notice a difference. And I'm not exaggerating. Within 1 month of changing, the biggest thing for people to get started, if you want to just start, the first thing to get started on is read the labels and take out refined sugars. Refined sugars lead to medication.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they know. They lead it to medication. And unfortunately, in the States, they put refined sugars in everything and in quantities that they can get away with. Yeah. So the refined sugars are increased. My daughter now has a boyfriend that is in America. And they have compared products, a product in New Zealand and a product in America, same branding, same name. It looks like the same product, but one was produced in America and one was produced in New Zealand. And the American one has almost double the refined sugar in it.
Absolutely. Everything has got sugar. The
Crazy.
tomato sauce, the mustard, soy sauce, everything you can think of has got sugar in it. They put it into everything because they want people to like it and to buy more. Whether it's good for you or bad for you, they don't think about that. Will they buy more? And then the food companies drive those sales. Yeah.
So the refined sugars, what it actually does in our body is first of all, it numbs the messages. It numbs the nerves in the gut. Yeah. So you don't get the messages from the gut to the brain because the nerves have been switched off. Yeah. And then what it does is it actually feeds your bad bacteria. Yeah. Or if you're carrying any little parasites around, it's going to feed those, which means they're going to want more refined sugar. Yes. So I often find people with sugar cravings have either got fungus in their body like candida, or they've got bad bacteria, they've got parasites, they've got a whole combination. Now, can I just add one more thing? Because I know we're talking about nutrition and food, but it is also really, really important to calm the body and not work on this high stress. Because with cortisol running through the body as well, there could be another craving that comes. If you've got refined sugars and you've got stress, you're going to crave the sugars. Yeah. So we want to calm the body. So meditations, going for walks, doing that type of thing, exercise, but you don't have to go crazy exercise. You can actually just do a little bit of exercise and it actually helps calm the body. So that's what we're looking for. And then your first step, no refined sugars. That is definitely where to start. Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say, for those of you who are watching and those of you watching live on Facebook, I'm going to be giving away one of my new vegan cookbooks. I did my original one and I've just done another one. I'm busy writing the third one. I won't even tell Shane because he'll just say, oh, no, not another one. But anyway, and I'm busy writing the third one now because I'm finding that I can make food more tasty. And there's so many different ways of getting it into your body. I'm a great one for juicing. I'm juicing now all the time. I love juicing. So let's just talk about, I think, food and food presentation, because they say you eat with your eyes first before you eat with your mouth. And then you've got the big buffet there, and it's just piles of different things. How did they display it to make you want to eat something really, really good there?
So I love at the moment, they have got fresh papaya or pawpaw. Yes, so that's one of my favorite. And they've sliced that up beautifully so that you can actually pick it up so that it's manageable. The watermelon here is also so delicious and so sweet. And I've seen the huge watermelons on the side of the road, but they obviously slice them up so that you can have them. So we've got the orange, we've got the reds, they've got lychees here. Which is all displayed so that you can just pick them and eat them immediately. So their fruit display is a beautiful, beautiful fruit display. And I'm attracted straight away because I'm thinking the liveliness and the color of this food is exactly what our bodies want. Yeah. Then next to that, they've got the croissants, they've got the donuts, they've got the toast, and I'm
The
thinking,
Nutella,
that's brown.
always that Nutella, and I think, oh my gosh.
So it's all brown and it's all dull. So
Mm,
why people want to go there,
yeah,
I don't know. But
yeah,
actually I do know it's because it's what they used to, and
mhm,
it's the sugar again. Because remember, grains turns to sugar in our system.
yeah,
So the grains gets converted into glucose, into
yeah,
a sugar, within our system. So, but when you eat grains, it also doesn't fill you up.
yeah,
It doesn't fill you up. So now you feel heavier, but you
yeah,
don't feel content. You
yes,
don't feel satisfied. So you eat more.
mhm,
You eat more. So that's the thing. When you've got enough nutrients coming into your body with the fruits and the veggies,
yes,
you've got enough. You really do have enough. So we sit there, my friend and I, we sit at breakfast time and we've had a plate full of fruit salad, and we're
yeah,
sitting there and we're going, we're satisfied because
yeah,
we've had so much nutrients come in. But the
yeah,
people that are eating all the breads and the croissants, they're going back for more. They're going
yeah,
back for more because it's empty food. It's
yeah,
empty calories. It's actually not filling us up. So definitely they've done this dysplasia so beautifully. So
yeah.
right.
It's wonderful. I love those hotels there. It's just incredible. But now, I've never been one to have that bluff meat and bluff sausages and all that type of thing. I just eat the fruit and the veggies. I don't feel the need to have that for protein. But talk to us a bit about protein and how important it is, because protein is the only thing your body can't store. So you have to be
Yeah.
making sure that you eat it all the time. And I don't like
Yeah.
taking synthetic protein, so I don't. So
Yeah.
I have to be quite careful. I eat lots of lentils, beans, all those legume type things. I
Yeah.
think that's where I think most of my protein from. I haven't studied it scientifically, but that's where I think I get it from. So
Yes.
talk to us
Yes.
about that.
Yeah. So when my son went vegan, we also did a lot of research around it. And so the proteins, actually will only stay for 6 months. So the vitamin B12 and the vitamin B6, stays for about 6 months in the system. Thereafter, you've got to keep replenishing. You've got to make sure that you've got good sources. And the good sources for vegans is definitely the lentils and the beans. And, that is the chickpeas as well. And spinach. Spinach
Yeah.
is an amazing source of protein. So you just have loads and loads of spinach with all your salads and all your meals.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, it's the amino acids within the protein. That's your building blocks.
Mm.
That's what your cells need. And so when I see people low on iron, low on B12, low on amino acids,
Yeah.
that's when I say to them, they do need a good quality, organic, free range
Yeah.
red meat. So it's got to be really good quality. If you're going to put it in your system, why not put in the good stuff?
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's really what I monitor is the amino acids because that's the building blocks. But a lot of veggies have amino acids in them.
Yeah.
So if you're getting enough of the good stuff, if you're getting enough of the fruit, then
Yeah.
you do have enough. But the problem is people don't have enough of the good stuff.
Yes.
That's really what it is. They don't have enough of the good stuff.
And as you say, you've got to go back to when children are little because they're used to what they're used to. So if they're used to getting sweets as a treat, they will want those all the time. They won't want a banana and peanut butter smoothie. They'll want the ice cream and the milkshake that way, or the Coke float or the cream soda float or whatever they have. So how do you start kids actually enjoying something? Sometimes you battle to get kids to eat and you just give them anything just so long as they'll eat it.
Yeah. I think that the best thing that you could do is actually get the kids involved in the kitchen.
Mhm.
So, bring them into the kitchen as small as what they are, put them on the kitchen counter, put them
Yeah.
up there on the kitchen counter and get them to play with the food, get them to feel the food, feel the textures of the food,
Yeah.
because that's where a lot of people go, oh, no, I don't want a banana because it's texture. I don't like the texture of it. But if a child gets to squish a banana and squish a watermelon, they get to actually, when they're squishing those,
Yeah.
or pick a piece of broccoli. Look at a piece of broccoli. I mean, look at it and get to play with it. They will
Yeah.
eventually put it in their mouth
Yeah.
because they want to taste it. It's
Yeah.
food. So
Yeah.
they're going to be drawn to it if they play with it. And
Yeah.
so, most of my clients, I say to them, get the kids, if they're still little, They play with the food. If they're slightly bigger, you get them to come in and help you cook. They need to know that food comes from ingredients. We need ingredients in order to make the food. So if you go, here's our ingredients, what are we making and how are we making it? And what spices are we putting in? And what herbs are we putting in? And so it really is about how we can actually turn those ingredients into a beautiful meal and get the kids to do it. You know, my kids were cooking early. They were in the kitchen, you know, as soon as they could, they were making the teas and the coffees, you know, they were in making whatever they could make at an early age, even with little steps up. They would have the steps up. They were taught what was hot, what was not. They were taught how to turn the stove on and off. It's like, it's part of their learning. It's part of them surviving. I know I don't even have to worry about my kids. They make delicious meals as young adults today and all really good stuff. So yes, get the kids involved.
I think one of the best things I taught my kids is how to cook, because they're both magnificent cooks today, and they really cook well. I see Brenda Wilkinson's joined us. So Brenda's from the Rio Largo olive oil place, and the fashion now is to have a big glug of all the adverts I see have a tablespoon of olive oil at night. So Brenda, you might not be camera ready, but if you want to come in quickly and just say hi and tell us about this new trend, which you must be loving, where everybody has to have a tablespoon of olive oil before they go to bed at night. I haven't done it myself, but tell us about it. Brenda, do you want to come in? You just put your sound on. You don't have to show us what you look like. Her sound's actually not properly connected by the looks of it, because we can't hear her. But anyway,
I truly believe that a lot of people don't have enough natural fats.
yes.
So I think that's where it's really, really good for us, because there is, you know, we've been told to avoid fat, avoid fat, avoid fat. Meanwhile, we actually do need the natural fats.
Yeah.
And so if you can get natural fats through really good quality olive oil, you know, that is obviously a really good way to put it into our system. So if you're not having enough natural fats, I agree with that.
Oh, really? Hey, oh, I don't think I could have it on. I mean, I do cook with olive oil a lot. I put it into salads and things, but I've never had it glugged it on its own. Now, I know you're not a fan of canola oil. Tell us about canola oil and what is the good, bad, and the ugly of canola oil.
That is an absolute poison. It's an absolute poison. Canola oil, you need to, if you've got canola oil, throw it out. Throw it out. That stays in our body for up to 2 years.
Yes.
Our body can't process that oil.
Yes.
It's too processed. It's absolutely poison for our system. It doesn't, like olive oil will go through our body and it will actually help clean out some of the systems, because the liver and the gallbladder actually can absorb that and actually help in the process of cleaning out. So part of a detoxing is good quality natural fats. But canola oil is so processed that it is so toxic to our system that our body doesn't know what to do. So the body just stores it. It's just stores it. And so a lot of the fat cells are stored with canola oil toxins. It just stays. It stays in our body.
Tell us now about avocado oil, because avocado oils, I mean, I literally live on avocados, even here where they're like marbles, they're so small and so hellishly expensive. But, you know, they must have to go through a hell of a lot of avocados to get that much oil out. And what is the advantage of avocado oil over olive oil? Good?
Well, I always am a great believer in, if you can get it out of the whole food itself, then go for it. I mean, look at the Mediterranean diet is full of olives.
Yes.
And so people that eat a lot of olives are naturally getting that in their system. And
they
so
say also if you eat a lot of olives, you won't get so wrinkled, when you won't have that horrible dry, withered up skin. So that's another good thing.
There you go. It's your natural fats. It's your absolute natural fats. So yes, it is eating enough of the natural fats. And so if you eat enough of the avocados, you are also going to be able to have enough without sprinkling it on your salads. But if you don't have enough of the real foods, then you do turn to, so my favorite oils are olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. Those for me are the 3 that I have, but I don't have anything else. There's no other that I have. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I know for me, I always battle because, well, I cook at home, I cook vegan. My poor husband has to eat vegan. When he goes out, the first thing he has is a steak. But cooking at home and eating at home, how do you keep it interesting? I write cookbooks, that's how I keep mine interesting. But how do you keep yours interesting on a day-to-day basis? You don't say, oh God, no, the same old thing again.
Yeah, you know what? I feel that once again, people just need to be more educated, is that we should eat to live, not
Yeah,
live to eat. And
yes.
so if you feel that you are absolutely totally consumed by food,
Yeah.
what are we shopping? What are we buying? What are we
What do we do?
eating?
Breakfast, lunch,
You know,
supper. Some
what's your
people
breakfast?
live
What's
from
your
meal to meal.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. But instead, if you spend one day over the weekend preparing and you go, and like you said, Margaret, in the days where you grew up, like this is what we're having for breakfast, lunch, dinners, this is your dinners, this is your variety for your lunches or your breakfasts. Everything is there in the fridge or the freezer or the pantries, and it's all natural and it's all, you know, it's all sorry, they're just starting to wake up here. People are starting to, I'm in feed with them for those people that, and they all, so I don't know if you can hear the music has just started going
Oh,
on.
we can't
It
hear,
is
so we can still
20,
just
20 to
you.
7 in the morning and people are waking up. The sun has now come up behind us, so it's really cool. So I truly think that you plan in advance so that there is a variety. So we plan the proteins and we plan the veggies, but
Yeah,
then you go to your herb garden or you go to your spices, and that's where you add in the differences to make the different changes, because food should be there so that it can actually satisfy you so that you can go out and live life. You know,
yes.
not then and sit at the moment. I've just, you know, I mentioned to you earlier, I've taken up paddle for the
Yeah,
last couple of months. I've been playing paddle. I'm paddle addicted now. I really
yeah,
am paddle
yeah,
addicted. But I'm going, okay, so I need to eat early so that I've got enough nutrients. I can play paddle in the evening. And
yes,
so I'm playing paddle in the evening, but it doesn't mean that I've got to have another meal after paddle. It
yeah.
just means that I've got enough nutrients in my body. I've got enough energy in my body so that I can actually live life, so that I
Yeah.
can actually do that. Oh, cool. Shane's also paddle addicted. I am really just loving this paddle. Yeah, they
Yeah,
built new courts near me. That's why the last 2 months. And so it's very easy to get to.
yeah,
So
we
it's
play
very,
and we call it pickleball, and it's similar, same
yes,
but different. You just don't hit off the wall, but yeah, it's
yes,
pickleball. Crazy on
yes,
pickleball. Yeah.
yes. So
It's just
move your body, people. Move your body. It's
you
really
got to move
awesome.
your body in there. Now, because Alan and I tend to put on weight so easily, we're trying to eat 2 meals a day now. You know, we've
Yes.
always 3 meals a
Mm.
day, we eat for breakfast, lunch, and supper. I said, you know what? We just don't need that much food. Our body is grown. We're not growing children. It's grown. It's finished now. We must just, maintain it. So we try and do we fast until about 10 and then have breakfast at 10 and then we eat again at about 3 or 4. Not very conducive to going out to dinner with friends, but anyway, but when we're not doing that, we eat 3 or
Well,
4.
I'll eat with you. My
Yeah.
dinner's also early. I'm like an early dinner person too.
That's a nice thing about Florida. And they say since COVID, if people start going for dinner at 4:30, and you mean, think of the old days. We used to go for dinner at 8 o'clock at night,
Yes,
then eat.
yes,
But so
yes.
let's just, I want everybody in the chat to put in your food weakness. Mine, of course, is rosé because I do love a rosé. So I'm going to put rosé. It's not a last minute rose, it's rosé. It's my weakness. I do love a rosé at night. And I know that you don't drink at all, and most people don't. In fact, we went out the other night, and out of 10 people, I was the only one who had a drink, and none of the
Ah,
others drank, which is quite amazing. When you think Americans do, we thought drank a lot, and the younger people do, but the older ones have now said, I've had that, I'm over it. But I'm just asking everybody to put in the chat, what's the
so
hardest
Shane,
thing about sticking
yeah.
to a healthy diet? And to me, it's the rosé at night. That's my healthy diet gone for a ball.
But
But
Shane, the sweet, yeah, Shane's just put there the sweet treat after dinner. Can I suggest one date? Have
yes,
enough, these majol dates. If you have a date after dinner, your body actually absorbs it really well.
yes,
And it doesn't spike your sugar levels.
yeah,
So it's not as if it's very sweet. It's like
yeah,
really sweet, but it's
yes,
very satisfying for those people that are looking for the chocolate after dinner.
yeah.
Instead of having the chocolate, swap that out for a date. You are going to be so much better off. So
Yeah.
much better off.
Yeah. And I'm just, oh no, I'm looking at all this. Every morning, as Shada says, every morning I have a teaspoon of ghee on my empty stomach. Oh my gosh, it keeps my tummy flat. Well, her stomach is flat, I have to say. I don't know that I could do that one. I really
Yeah.
don't know. Snack time, the sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds, says Shada. Well, that's good. Um, yeah, and people offering them stuff at work. Well, yeah, we work with food, and that's where I put on my weight, working with food and having food every day. But we do run kids in the kitchen at Hirsch's. So if those of you in South Africa, please send your kids to our kids in the kitchen. But let's just go some of the truths. Food is fuel. It impacts energy, mood, and focus. And I think that's a lot of the thing that we don't think about when we're just shoving anything into our mouth, when we're hungry. And Americans eat what they call snacks all the time. I'm just snacking a bit. Oh my gosh, it's bad enough trying to stick to 3 meals a day, but you're snacking in between meals. That can really throw you under the bus when it comes to weight. Tell us about that, and how does food actually affect your mood? Because it
Yeah,
does.
so it does, and unfortunately, refined sugar is the big culprit because it is super addictive and it affects the brain. It really does cause brain fog.
Mm,
It's been proven, so it numbs out, and it has also been proven to be linked with short-term memory
yes.
loss. So you don't want any of that refined sugar. But I just want to go back to how you said about eating 2 meals a day, and Margaret, I want to agree with that. If you feel into your body, you actually don't need a lot if you're putting the right stuff in.
Yeah.
If you are putting the right stuff in, you really don't need. I think most of us overeat. We
Yeah.
do. The planet is overeating at this
Yeah.
stage,
Yeah.
and we're eating all the wrong things. But if you actually get to
Did
the
you
fruits,
notice, just a quick one, stuff, did you notice at Mine Valley, all the people on the stage who went up were all thin? There was not one
all the
obese person there. Did you notice that? I
yeah, yeah,
noticed. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's because there's an awareness, there's a consciousness, there
Yeah.
is a feeling into your body.
Yeah.
So we feel into the body, and when we feel into the body, then what's right for you and what's not right for you because you feel it. You
Yeah.
actually do get to feel it. But if you think about a child when they hit puberty,
Yeah.
so that growth, it's like they want to eat everything. Like you
Mhm.
can't stock the house up. And it is because there is a massive shift in their hormones and a massive shift in their actually structure. They
Yeah.
are growing at a rapid rate when children hit puberty.
Yeah.
And so, yes, children must eat loads, and they
Yeah.
must eat loads, especially for hormones, by the way. Fruit
Yeah.
is vital for hormone and hormonal growth. And you'll
Yeah.
find that if you've got girls and they hit puberty, if they're on fruit, they won't have the sugar cravings and they won't have the mood swings that go with the puberty changes.
Yeah. Sure.
So I noticed that I have seen teenagers, ones
Yeah.
that are on sugar and ones that are on fruit, and the
Yeah.
ones that are on fruit, no mood swings. No mood swings. They don't
Yeah.
get to be that horrible teenager. They actually are calm, and
Yeah.
they move through that really, really easily, really
Yeah.
easily. So food does definitely affect the brain, the mood swings, the hormonal changes. I've always said women should not suffer through puberty.
Yeah.
Women should not suffer through pregnancy, and women should not suffer through menopause. If
Yeah.
you are suffering through any one of those, or you know people that are suffering, it's because there's too much sugar. There's too much
Yeah.
refined sugar. So fruit is not sugar. So that's a big message I want to get through today.
Yeah.
Fruit is natural, and the body knows what to do with it. It knows how to break it down and use it for energy. It knows
Yeah.
how to break it down and repair cells. It
Yeah.
knows how to break it down and feed the brain. So
Mhm.
fruit is really necessary to actually feed all of those. And veggies for me is obviously the real top up to
Yeah.
your nutrition. It's like the enhancement of everything that you need. Yeah.
Now, kids still today suffer with focus, and I'm reading a book at the moment on focus. Don't stop drifting off to all these different things. You've got to focus on what you want, focus on what you've got to do and get things done. And focus is a big thing. And here they give all the kids Ritalin and all the other derivatives of Ritalin. But I believe that they could cure that with food. And I used to have fight terribly with my children about that. don't give it. My own children, I never let Richard have Ritalin ever, although doctor said he's got to have it, he's got it, and I never did it. And look how fantastic he is today. So, I just think that with people with children who want to put them onto things like Ritalin, what foods can they now, because kids, I don't want to eat the broccoli, I don't feel like this. But I mean, if you start juicing and doing smoothies and things like that, how can they get them to, and what foods really enhance their focusing?
Yeah. When you make a smoothie, and the smoothies are beautiful because you can put veggies into a smoothie and it just hides the taste with all the fruit.
Yeah.
So if you make a smoothie with banana and you put some avocado in there, you don't taste the avocado, it just makes it thicker and smoother, Yes, creamy. It makes it really creamy. I always, with my kids as well, I always put a stick of celery in because celery is anti-inflammatory and it actually removes toxins from the body. But I just put enough in so that they don't taste it, so you've got to just find out the quantities that you can sneak into the smoothies so that the smoothie still is like a fruit smoothie. And then think about, there's a glass of smoothie. How much is taken to make that glass and how much nutrients are going into the body. And I truly believe if every child had a smoothie before they started school, you would not need the Ritalin. You would not need Ritalin. And then in their lunchbox, you cut up the carrots. They're sweet, so they love the carrots. You give them the apples because an apple helps the liver. It really does. An apple a day really does help that liver. So you want the liver to constantly detox, So we want foods that are bright, colorful, and that kids can actually snack on. And that they don't feel heavy after, but they get their energy and then they can get on the sports field and focus. They can focus with a good nutrient. I really, really, truly believe that, one of my favorites, and I know you're vegan, but one of my favorites for my kids was biltong. I mean, biltong was just such an easy snack to give children. And their friends used to want, trade my sandwich for your biltong and your carrots, and it's like, they loved their lunch boxes because it was full of colorful foods and full of different types of foods. And my kids always really I knew I was sending them off with good lunch, good smoothies in the morning and then a good lunch in the afternoon. So
I know Shane's on here. I mean, he went through his huge weight loss, which he did. And you've all seen the before and after photos. And if you haven't followed Shane Spencer and see his before and after photos, I mean, it was just absolutely mind blowing. And it happened before my eyes, but he always used to chew on biltong just to keep him going. So he also, I haven't converted him to veganism yet, but I'm hoping to. And and just to have those smoothies. I mean, I do, and also women with belly fat. It's cucumber, lemon, and celery. If you put that into water and just drink that all day, that definitely gets rid of the belly fat. It really does.
It does. It's amazing because think about the belly. That belly fat is actually a protection layer. It's a protection around the digestive organs. So that's all it really is. It's built up. It's actually your body's trying to protect you from what you're putting in. So if you start putting the good stuff in, the belly starts disappearing. It starts disappearing.
It's incredible. Okay, now healthy living is easier when you set yourself up with good habits and simple tools. What are the good habits? And I still believe in, especially for older people, intermittent fasting. You don't need that hectic breakfast. You don't need all the porridge and the egg and bacon and the toast and all that sort of thing first thing in the morning. You really don't. But if you do, then you cut out lunch, or you have breakfast and lunch and cut out supper. But I think it's mostly eating late at night. That's really a no-no today. You just don't do that. So tell us some healthy tools that we can do to get us eating the right thing at the right time.
So just think about the human growth hormone, which is your repair hormone, kicks in. It really starts coming into effect about 9 o'clock, but by 10 o'clock, it's really working very, very hard. So by 10 o'clock, you don't want anything in your gut, because otherwise human growth hormone is going to go to your digestive system and it's not going to go to heal what needs to be re-healed. So it helps your cells, it helps your stem cells heal. So we want to eat earlier so that our food is digested, so the human growth hormone can heal what needs to be healed. So that's the first thing, is early dinner. And then, you know, me and my delicious water. I mean, I
Yes.
know this is bottled water, but in Fiji, we can't have tap water.
Right.
So I'm drinking as much as I can. I'm a minimum of 3 liters a day. I wake up in the morning, I have my water. I'm having at least 500 mils of water before I even have breakfast.
Yeah.
So have water, put slices of lemon in the water, slices of cucumber in the water, you know, whatever you want to flavor the water with if you can't drink enough water. But for me, we've got to hydrate from the inside out. If you hydrate it inside, once again, it helps with wrinkles. The wrinkles are not there. You know, I was very happy to stand on the stage at Mind Valley and say that I'm 55 years old.
Yeah.
Because when I was 28 years old and when I went through, so at 28 was my health crisis. I was told I couldn't have children. You know, I was overweight. I really knew that I had to change everything about my life. But I also had a metabolic age of 43 at 28 years old. At 20 years old. I'm 55. My metabolic age right now, I tested it before Amsterdam, it's 39.
Oh,
It's
wow.
39.
Yeah.
So I'm younger now metabolically than what I was when I was 28. And I was like,
that's incredible. Yay.
and it really is, I promise you, Margaret, it comes down to the food, it comes down to your hydration, and then your movement. For me, those are key ingredients for you actually having a really good metabolism, for you having your energy, and for you having your cellular repair work done. And that you do yourself. So I'd love to just, the last thing to put in the chat, who believes they can heal themselves?
Yes, put a wide
Can
for
you
yes.
heal you? Do you believe you can heal you?
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
I tell you now, you do have the power within you, and you've also got the magic within you to heal you. Yay!
Yes.
All these yeses.
And I remember healing my mother from diabetes because she was quite old. She was well into her 80s, and she suddenly, they said, "You're diabetic." She said, "I don't want to be diabetic." And I said, "Mom, you've got to change your diet. We're not eating these stodgy things. You're not eating the sweets and the cakes anymore. You're eating properly." And we really cured her diabetes. And when she died, she was not diabetic at all. So, you know, it's incredible that you can cure it by eating. And of course, those of you who haven't read Dr. Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Yourself. She works on the mind more than the body, definitely the body, but more on your mind. If you get your mind right, everything else goes right as well. So I think we're going to finish on that. So yes, it's been absolutely incredible chat. I've just seen all these. I think what we must do is each one of you, you know, it's not, knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. So what are you going to do? I'm asking everybody on live on Facebook and on the Zoom here. What are you going to do this coming week, which will be the first step for the next step that you're going to take to improve your nutrition, your life, the way you feel, because your health is your wealth. You have to be healthy, and we really don't want to not be healthy. So my one is we're going to be more delicious water. I can't spell delicious. IOUS water. So I'm definitely going to give it a good chance. Oh, I'm just typing it. I need to shade so nobody's seeing what I'm typing. But more delicious water is what I'm going to be doing from now on. I'm really going to make a concerted effort to have more water and to do more exercise. So where I stay now, we've got a gym, so I've got no excuse. So I'm going to go on that bicycle as soon as I'm finished here, and I'm going to cycle for at least half an hour just to get the everything going. And I've just done a mind power course with Robin Banks, and he's got his rebounder. And he says that when you bounce on the rebounder, it squashes all the yucky stuff out of your cells and it gets it out your body faster. So if nobody's got a rebounder, it's like a mini trampoline. You buy it, it's quite portable. I've got one in Joburg, one in Durban, but none here. So I'm going to go and get myself a rebounder as well. And I'm going to jump on that rebounder, cycle, and drink more water. Those are my 3 things that I'm going to do to make sure that I'm more healthy. So guys and dolls, we'll see you next month. It's September already. Can you believe it? This year has just flown. We're going to be talking about all sorts of healthy things again. I don't even know what the subject is, but Shane will tell us. He'll send us all an invitation. So everybody who's joined us today, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Kerry, for coming in on your holiday in Tahiti. Fiji, you're in Fiji.
Fiji. I'm in Fiji. Yeah.
And that's where Tony Robbins' holiday house is also in
Correct.
Fiji.
He's got a resort here, but the
Yeah.
sun has just come up, so I am actually going to go out and do another kayak or a stand-up paddle right now. So,
Oh,
so I'll be
wow.
on the
That's so
water. I'm
exciting.
going to be on the
Okay.
water.
Oh, Shane, put that back up because I can see it. That's September's one. We're talking
Yes.
about, here's Shane with his screen sharing, 8 o'clock, same time, September
Yep.
22nd, 2025, mindfulness and mental health awareness. And, you
Wow.
know, mental health was such a subject a little while ago. People seem to have forgotten it a bit now. But I think your mental health is so, so important. And that's also, you can drive your mental health one way or the other by what you eat as well. So I think with what you put in your mouth, this is your vehicle, this is your motor car. Are you putting in petrol? What are you putting into it to make it go? And that's going to be the telling time. So that's what we're talking about next month. Kerry, enjoy your time in Tahiti, Fiji. I keep saying Tahiti, in Fiji. Please send us a lot more pictures. Have a fabulous, and I'll see you next month on the 22nd. Thank you. And thanks to everyone
Thanks,
who joined us.
everybody. Thanks.
Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we hope you'll join us next month as well. Thank you, and have a wonderful, healthy month. Thank you.